The heart of your teams. The heart of Ohio. Valley Sports Ohio. The heart of the fan.
From Charm City in Baltimore, the chants have worked. The rain has gone away. The sunshine is here to stay. The Reds and Orioles rematch. Cincinnati seeks to level the series. And welcome on back to Reds Baseball. A pleasant good evening alongside Chris Welsh. I'm John Sadak, and happy Andrew Abbott Day to you. The Reds undefeated when Abbott gets the ball.
The young left-hander is about 4 games into his major league career, and he's already set the standards so high that the expectations, I think, for the fans, for his own teammates, for his coaching staff are, top of the rotation kind of guy. And sometimes you have to take a step back and say, he's making his way through the major leagues for the very first time, but you would never know it. His control has been outstanding. He's only walked 9 batters. He has struck out 22 in the 23 innings that he's pitched, and he's kept the team in every ball game every time he's taken the ball. So there's not a whole lot more that you can ask for from Andrew Abbott.
Abbott has been truly awesome. The Reds, they're trying to get off the schneid. They have dropped 3 in a row. We'll see if they can do that next. To break when we're back, we're underway. The Reds and Orioles, game 2 of this 3-game set. Cincinnati Reds baseball on Valley Sports Ohio is brought to you by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Cincinnati. And by Skyline Chili. Feeling good, it's Skyline time. Back in Baltimore, the Reds and Orioles match up once more. 2 of the young, talented clubs on the rise in big league baseball. Reds fell in the opener yesterday, thanks in part to the deluge of Mother Nature and to a potent offensive showing by this talented Orioles team. The foe for the Reds offense tonight, the subject of our Kia player profile. Tyler Wells lives in some extremes, Chris.
Well, I guess you could call it that. I mean, he's given up 18 home runs this year in 14 starts, and you wouldn't really think that would be a problem for a guy that is 6 feet 8 inches tall and kind of with the potential to dominate. I mean, by the time he takes that long stride towards home plate and cuts the ball loose, he might be as closest to home plate as anybody out there, but he doesn't necessarily have a huge stride towards home. He's come up with a cutter, and that's allowed a lot of the home runs. I think 7 of the 18 have come on bat. So a young man who is now 28 years old, making his 15th start of the year.
He'll take on this Reds club that has dropped 3 straight. They have lost first place in the process. TJ Friedel leads it off, full 9 from Rally House. Matt McLean, Jonathan India. Ellie De La Cruz has been in a bit of a funk for 3 games. Jake Fraley, Joey Votto, the southpaw swings are back. Steer, the DH, Will Benson, and Luke Maile. A 6'8" Wells pumps a pitch low as we are underway. Friedel, another infield hit yesterday. Gunnar Henderson, who sat last night, is shallow at third. Wells Wednesday in Tampa went 5, 4 runs, just 2 earned. He did walk 3 men, matching a season high. There is strike 1.
Wells is interesting in as much as he leads the American League in WHIP, which is walks and hits divided by innings pitched. So he doesn't really give up very many hits at all.
Swing and miss.
In fact, he has nearly 30 fewer hits than he does innings pitched. And the barometer is nowadays, if you have 1 hit per every inning that you pitch, you're doing pretty doggone good. He is exceptional in that regard.
Only Shohei Ohtani has a better average against in baseball, and yet 31% of his hits allowed, homers. How does that happen that someone who is so hard to hit in terms of frequency allows that kind of a clobbering when contact is made?
I think that we're probably not the only ones trying to figure that out. I think the pitching coaches over there, they've got 2 of them in the dugout for the Orioles, are probably thinking the same thing.
Two. Swing and dropped by Adley Rutschman.
That's a great trait right there. With 2 strikes, you swing just hard enough to make contact. You're not selling out on guessing something and then dragging that bat back to the bench with a 3-pitch strikeout. Make the guy work a little bit.
Inside. Payoff out in front. Our storylines presented by Elk and Elk. Matt McLain late last night got hit by pitch in the 9th. That extended the longest on base streak by a Red this season to 18 games. Getting on at a 360 clip in that time. Right at the right fielder, McKenna. Defense for Baltimore, middle of the pack, a defensive run saved at 15th. Hayes, Hicks, McKenna patrol the outfield. On the infield, Henderson series debut at 3rd. Their best defender is Mateo at short. Team high 5 defensive run saved. The rookie Jordan Westberg debuted yesterday. Urias and Rutschman. Jonathan India. India's dubious distinction continued last night. He got hit by pitch for the 12th time. That's most in the National League, tied for the 2nd most in baseball behind Seattle's Ty France.
Well, the Reds as a team have been hit quite a bit. Actually, they're about 6th in all of Major League Baseball with 42 hit by pitches. The Orioles, on the other hand, have been hit the least of anybody in baseball. They've only been hit 19 times. So the Orioles win the dodgeball game.
Dip, duck, dive, and dodge. Down and away. India was on foul territory earlier today. Internet series that among its hosts counts Todd Frazier. Lifted shallow right. McKenna glides over. Great initial at bat by Friedel. Wells recovers. Fairly efficient first. Abbott is next. 11 of 16. Austin Hayes leads it off. Full 9 from Rally House. Adley Rutschman, Anthony Santander, who's been very hot with pop this last week. Gunnar Henderson, Aaron Hicks, Ramon Urias. Jordan Westberg got a base hit and a walk in a soaking rain-driven debut yesterday. Ryan McKenna and Jorge Mateo. On the bump for the Redlegs, the outstanding rookie Andrew Abbott.
Yeah, just turned 24 on June the 1st. From nearby Lynchburg, Virginia, has a lot of family and friends here to watch this series against the Orioles, and of course being out tonight to watch him.
His first 4 starts, the Reds are 4-0. The numbers magnificent.
And Abbott really keeps it simple. I mean, he attacks the strike zone, but I think the big key for him, other than having a live fastball, he throws his breaking pitch for a strike. And it does wonders for you as a pitcher when you can throw that first pitch in there for a strike, maybe with something other than the fastball.
Swing and miss.
That's how good the arm action on that changeup for Andrew Abbott. I mean, that pitch was a 1.5 feet outside, and Austin Hayes swung at it like he thought he had a good chance of hitting it.
And Hayes, the 3rd best average in baseball, is no slouch, picking up the ball out of the pitcher's hand. Hayes had a couple of hits. He doubled, drove in 3 in the opener last night. Sky to center. Friedel. 1 down. Defense for the Redlegs. Will Benson, T.J. Friedel, Jake Fraley all swing left side of the outfield. De La Cruz, McLean, India, Votto, and Luke Maley has caught all of Abbott's 5 big league starts so far. Tyler Stevenson is not in the starting lineup for the 3rd time in 7 days. The switch hitting Rutschman. Rutschman, a couple of hits last night, drove in 2. Also earned his 51st walk, tied for the most in the American League. Now, yes, Baltimore did see another serious set of downpours earlier today. When we arrived on the 2nd bus this afternoon, it looked like a tsunami was crashing down to the field. But the sun sparkled about an hour plus before the game, and we were A-OK. Bounced home 2-2. Rutschman has thrived in this stadium. Bottom of the screen, you see how the average kicks up a touch at home. Payoff. He does it again. Another walk drawn by Rutschman.
You know, having a good eye at the plate is kind of like being really fast as a runner, because good plate and strike zone management doesn't go into a slump. Even though Rutschman has not been hitting at all really in the month of June, he's still getting on base by taking the walks.
And that has had impact because the man who follows him, Anthony Santander, in his last 7 games hitting nearly .390 with 5 of his 14 homers. He has been on a power surge. Bailey holds the frame, strike 2. Middle infield takes a collective several steps left. Bailey handles in the dirt.
Yeah, I think early indications here. Abbott still trying to find that good release point on the breaking ball. I mean, you just really never know sometimes coming out of the bullpen how long it's going to take you and how stubborn you have to be to continue to throw it till you get it right.
Just up and did not induce the swing. Yeah, that is a pitch that gets chased a lot for Abbott. That four-seamer just above the zone, sometimes way above the zone. How much impact is there for Abbott with how he angles his body while he's preparing to pitch?
Well, he never really allows the hitter to see the baseball. I think that's one of the biggest things. I think Nick Lodolo's the same way. A little bit across their body. When they release it, all of a sudden the ball comes out of the spot.
High in the air, left field. Benson Rutschman was nearly a top second. He gallops back.
And when you talk about hiding the baseball, a lot of times people say, well, what does it really matter? Because it only matters when it comes out of the pitcher's hand. But, you know, if a batter can read the baseball several times in the delivery of the pitcher, he can kind of get into a better rhythm. And I think it helps the timing of the hitter. The more you hide it, the better it is.
Gunnar Henderson, strike one. Henderson's another Oriole that has been very hot. He sat yesterday as the Reds started a lefty at Williamson. In June, hitting .349, 6 of his homers. He has the 5th best slugging percentage in baseball in June. Now, these teams are built in somewhat similar fashion. They're both much younger than their peers. They both have a lot of length in their lineup. But the Orioles have a touch more pop. The Reds have more speed that they use. Swing and miss. A Houdini pitch. Rutschman straightened. Zeros on the board, second inning. These two teams with a feeling they belong. Young squads that are a lot of fun, and the headline prospect for the Reds of late, Elly De La Cruz. De La Cruz had a scorching week and was rightfully named National League Player of the Week. He has cooled his last 3. He's 1 for his last 12. No ribbies, 5 Ks. You know what that means. This guy's due.
He is due. You know, what's interesting about this matchup, we try to compare these teams a number of different ways. Both of these teams have 21-year-old cleanup hitters.
And they're not there in a forced way. They deserve to be in those respective spots. Big swing and miss.
Yeah, De La Cruz, the league has learned very quickly that De La Cruz has excellent plate coverage. It's very difficult to get him out going north and south and east and west. So they're adding and subtracting on the speed of the pitch.
On the edge, strike 3.
2 back-to-back really good pitches. This is the final one. It's a little bit of a cutter and does exactly as designed, which is look like it's going to be outside and then spins right on the edge of the plate the last second.
Jake Fraley. Fraley has hit safely in 5 straight. In his last 11 games, 6 of his 11 homers, a dozen of his team high 47 RBIs. Rutschman down and away. Can you see any similarity? Their physical makeup is different. They throw on different sides of the plate. But both Abbott and Wells will often live with a 92 to 93 fastball in the upper tier of the zone that gets seemingly deceptive swing and miss.
Well, if you look at Wells' pitching delivery, from the time that he takes the ball out of his glove until he gets it up behind his right ear, it's very quick. He's got a quick arm, and so does Andrew Abbott. So the ball kind of explodes on you. The velocity is secondary.
That's a tough pitch.
Wells has excellent breaking pitch. That's a big old roundhouse right over the top. It's the kind of curveball that'll make Jim Palmer proud.
He's right next door. Fraley high in the air, right field. McKenna 2 down. Well, it's time for our Medical Mutual 5-star report. Joey Votto has seen the Orioles the least of any one opponent. and he has destroyed Baltimore pitching. Now, last year he homered twice in that short set in Cincinnati and hit 400. 6 bombs among his 11 hits. First pitch clubbed left center, and Hicks on the run tracks it down. And the late Gabe Paul cement their place in Reds history at the 2023 Reds Hall of Fame induction gala Sunday, July 16. Don't miss this star-studded ceremony. Visit redsmuseum.org to buy your tickets now. Fastball away to the switch-hitting Aaron Hicks, who went 0 for 2 last night but walked 3 times. And by the way, a very happy belated happy birthday to Georgiana Frizzell from Dayton, Ohio. Turned 101 yesterday. They always have the Reds on TV in the house. We thank you for letting us be part of your evening. Happy birthday. .30 strike. Second walk for Abbott. And the Reds' 3-game losing streak entering tonight. The team ERA in that time only a touch under 8. Between those 2 Braves games and the opener in Baltimore, .327 average against. Reds pitching has been clocked.
I really have a tendency to kind of throw out last night's ball game for a number of different reasons. Obviously, the weather being the first one, and then you're running out some pitchers that you never thought you would see in the big leagues at this point in this season. But the pitching is certainly the concern that the Reds have right now. Although when Andrew Abbott takes them out, it's amazing how things can change so quickly when you have a good quality young pitcher. And I think that when you looked at this series, you know, everybody who did and kind of evaluated game by game, they said, well, boy, they got a really good chance here in the second game with Abbott going. It's his 5th start in the major leagues.
Yeah, you make a great point. The sense of confidence that has come from many of these rookie Reds that have immediately stepped into incredibly important, I would say integral roles on this team. Breaking ball fouled away.
And it's such a big difference, John, when you come up as a rookie and you're pitching for a team that has something to play for as a goal, rather than coming up later in the year. Say you're a September call-up, your team is already out of it, and everybody's playing basically a salary drive at the last month or for individual goals.
Hicks 3 for 3 in stolen base tries. Now Luke Maile behind the plate, who has a very strong and accurate arm.
So now you throw over twice. You've used up both of your disengagements. So now we'll see if Hicks wants to get a little bit bigger lead this time. He did not have much of a lead the first couple of throwovers. And he's about in the same spot.
And while there is a risk element to it, Andrew Abbott is a very smart young man in every sense, in the collegiate sense, in the life sense, in the baseball sense. You could rope-a-dope a runner because you can throw, you just have to get him after you use those 2 disengagements. And he strikes me as the kind of young man that it's going to be a rarity, but I think he's the kind of guy that can pull it off. From 0-2 to 3-2. Runner goes. Pitch lifted, center field. Hicks slams on the brakes. Friedel circles over. One down.
You know, if you throw that high fastball just in the right spot to the right hitter, and Urias is one of those, you're either going to get a swing and miss, and of course Abbott had a ton of those in the minor leagues. He was striking out, 12, 13 guys a game. In the major leagues, they're going to make more contact. They won't chase it as much, but they will make more contact on it. But when it's thrown properly, you're going to get a lot of lazy fly balls to center field.
Jordan Westburg, second game in the big leagues. He walked in a driving rain in his first plate appearance in last night's debut. And he said to the local media after the game, honestly, it felt like something out of a movie or something that you dream. Started a flashback to Kansas City in that moment. That is well hit over third, base hit. Hicks through second. He claims third. Throw to second base. Another knock for the rookie.
Well, that's a nice job out there in left field by Will Benson. I mean, he got to that ball in a hurry. He holds Westburg to a single. Coming off the bat, this is the double all the way, right? You hit the ball down the left field line almost always because as you got the left fielder going towards the line. And in this case, Benson has to field it and kind of turn himself into a proper throwing position. But strong throw. Keeps that double play in order. That's a big play. It doesn't look like much, but it's a big play if Abbott can get a double play ball to get out of the inning.
Ryan McKenna. First pitch to right. Jake Fraley squares it up. Makes the catch. Both runners show tag. Throw goes to second. Sac fly as Hicks scores. Westburg retreats. 1-0 Baltimore. And by the way, that base hit for Westburg, a first for Abbott. Entering this game, Abbott saw opponents 0 for 26 with men on base. He had not allowed one hit with a man on. Westburg's single is the first one surrendered, and it comes in his 5th start. Jorge Mateo, breaking ball loops down.
Boy, the Orioles taking a lot of pitches, a lot of marginal pitches that have just missed.
Just clips for a strike. Yeah, Mateo, since the start of May, is hitting in the 150s. He was 0 for last night, and he walked twice. Orioles drew 9 walks in that series opener. Inside.
You know, the throw overs by Andrew Abbott here. He's thrown 3 of them, twice to Hicks, once over there to Westbury. You don't know if those are on his own or they're coming from the bench.
Mateo unhappy.
You know, where you get hit by a pitch, they say walk it off. I guess that can be the same thing when you feel like you get a bad call.
Just does a little lap there. 2-2. Shallow left. Benson coming on hard. McLean going out. And McLean covers the ground and makes the play. His back toward the plate. First run belongs to Baltimore. Nothing deficit on the board. 6th inning last night. His 3rd hit In his third at bat, a home run. He went deep, gave the Reds some life. Take strike one. He is in the driver's seat presented by Hyundai. He is among the best rookies in baseball, including #1 in ribbies and on base. And on surface value, it's almost a little surprising when you realize tonight is the third time he's been the starting DH all year. He hadn't done it since the last of April. Speaks to his value as a fielder and the logjam the Reds have at some other spots.
Well, the good part about that is that he can play not only several positions, but several positions well.
1-2. He adapted to first base very well, very quickly. He's already made a few impressive plays in left field. Something just about entirely foreign to him. Struck him out. Well, Wells is pretty nasty.
Everything he throws really moves, doesn't it? Even his fastball has a little bit of run on it. That's a changeup right there, and boy, he really sells it like a fastball.
That has been the finishing pitch. Will Benson down it in with the breaking ball. Backdoor strike. Benson's year began 2 for 27, a sea of strikeouts. He went down to AAA and he has come back a different man. His last 21 games hitting .345 with power, with a knack for big moments. It has outstanding plate discipline. Now, we did see his limited use in the Braves series. They decided to go with a lot of breaking balls down out of the zone. Swing and miss.
Yeah, finishes him off with a cutter right here. That's the one that comes in the high 80s. His fastball will be in the low to mid 90s, usually 92, 93. But he's got pretty good command here tonight.
Luke Maile. Strike one. Maile has power. Show that most recently in the Reds road trip. And we were speaking some about Maile before the game, and you readily brought up the doubles you remembered. The two he had at St. Louis and the biggie he had in Kansas City the next series.
Clutch ones too.
To right field. McKenna hops. Catch. Inning. A subject of our stats with Lowe's. The last 15 days, the best average in the American League, right in front of old friend Brandon Drury. He is fly to center against Abbott tonight. Reds down a run. Ball one. Two and 0. The first time through, Abbott walked two, the second of which came around to score. Surrendered just one hit. 3-0.
It looks like Andrew Abbott just kind of, I don't want to say fatigued, but may not feel at the top of his game tonight. It's a little bit unusual for a minor league pitcher to come to the big leagues. And then you get into the rotation, because in the minor leagues, remember, you're getting 1 day off a week. So basically you're pitching once a week in the minor leagues. In the major leagues, if you don't have an off day, you're pitching every 5th day. And if you're not used to that, it can begin to get to you after a while. Your body doesn't feel the same. You have to change the way you work out in between starts so that you don't wear yourself down. And sometimes those are lessons that will take a little bit longer to learn. Just looks like he's just forcing it just a little bit, and sometimes you have to.
Payoff. Downstairs. 3rd walk for Abbott, the 2nd to begin an inning. The leadoff walk last inning came around. His first walk was issued to Adley Rutschman. That also came on a payoff. Ball 1. One ball and 1 strike. Great pitch. Down the right field line, Fraley over. That's in the seats, foul. Nice play. Two and two. Line to second, caught on the fly by India. Pumps, doesn't have a window for a double up. One away.
Apparently hit it right on the button. Looked like it might for a moment be a base hit, but there's India kind of snug up the middle, playing that through the box, and takes a couple of steps to take away that line drive.
Santander is flied to left. Now it looks like the command of Abbott getting crisper. He tried to attack Santander with almost that exact same spot his first at bat. It did not get him to flinch or chase. Mighty swing comes up empty. Two. Dives low.
So you miss with the 2-2 changeup. Do you try to speed him up with the fastball, or you come right back with a breaking ball?
Flick to first. Tony Mansolino, a sequence of signs outside the box at third. Hayes leads slightly. Struck him out, challenged him with a heater.
Right on the outside corner. Just an excellent location for Andrew Abbott as he just pipes it right down the edge.
Second strikeout for Abbott. The first came against Gunnar Henderson, swinging to end the opening inning. Strike one.
Yeah, Henderson's got a lot of power and he's got a very good swing, obviously in the major leagues at age 21. But if Abbott throws the breaking pitch where he wants, this really should be somewhat of a mismatch.
Twisted him up and in.
Get him looking outside, then come right up under his elbows with a fastball. So now really Abbott can do whatever he wants. He can come back inside, double up on that inside fastball, go down and away with a breaking ball, maybe take something off the breaking ball and throw the curve instead of the slider. I mean, those are all good options for him right now.
Runner off, swing and miss. Abbott struck him out. Henderson thumps the bat and the helmet in disgust. Successive Ks for Abbott. Let's see if the Reds can get someone on.
In the stands, and I am with the father of Andrew Abbott, David, and when he made his major league debut, boy, Pops, you were a hit in your analysis. On that day, you said, Art, he's nibbling a little too much. I think you're going to see a different picture come out this next inning, and you were spot on. He has said no one knows him like you do. So give us your assessment so far.
Well, he's fallen behind a little bit too much in his pitches. So I'd like to see him attack the plate a little bit more. You know, like again, he's around the plate, but he's not as crisp as he normally is. So I would like to see him attack the plate a little bit more.
What type of conversations have you had about this adjustment to big league hitters?
Just to go out there and throw. He's got good enough stuff to get most major league hitters out if he uses it in the right context. And I think he will gradually grow into it a little bit more. He's not getting the Ks that he normally gets because he's still adjusting. So I think he will grow into that a little bit more.
So you'd like to see him be a little more aggressive the rest of the way here?
Absolutely, absolutely. I love to see him aggressive. He's a competitor, and he loves to compete. And I love to see him do a little bit more of that. Yes.
How do you like seeing a bunt like that laid down for a base hit?
Oh, I love it. I love small ball. I love speed. I love all of that, and I love good pitching.
And this style of play for this Reds team has to fit right into there, right?
Right in there. Right in there. I love what they're doing. They've got the crowd into it. They got the home folks energized. I love what they're doing. Yes.
All right. How many people? This is Andrew said this and DC are like closest to being home games for him. How many people you got here tonight?
Friends and people that not in our group right here, probably 25, 30, 35 maybe. I don't know. It's a lot of people here supporting him. Yes.
That's beautiful. Appreciate your time, and we'll maybe call on you here and there throughout the season to get the best analysis, because no one knows him better than you.
Absolutely. I plan on being in Washington next week, so we'll see what happens there.
All right.
Thank you.
That is Pops. David, let's go back to the booth.
So thank you, Jim, and thank you to Mr. Abbott. How about TJ Friedl spoiling Tyler Wells' night? He had not yielded a base runner, a 2-strike bunt hit, his baseball best 8th bunt single of the year.
You know, it was almost like the way the Orioles were playing defense on Friedl. Normally we see that third baseman in a little bit over towards the line trying to discourage Friedl, but they didn't play him like that at all. They were all the way back, giving him the entire left side of the infield and basically saying, if you want the base hit bunt, we're going to give it to you. So he took it.
McLean fouls it away. Yeah, that takes such conviction, guts, feel, talent. Friedl is often described as a spark plug energy kind of guy, and he does that in a lot of ways, including by his pure play. Also has a dozen steals on the year. 0-2. Borderline miss. His stuff is really nasty. Doesn't have the high velo, but he's got movement.
It's funny, you know, if you talk to a baseball analyst about stuff, you know, one of the first things they're going to tell you is velocity and spin rate of that fastball. If you talk to a hitter, that same guy may be somebody who, well, we see the ball pretty well off him, but I don't want to face the guy with a sidearm breaking ball.
McLean dead center. Hicks spun around. Deep retreat. Over his head and off the wall. Friedl flies through second. Windmill is on at third. Throw in. McLean slams on the brakes. Friedl scores standing. Matt McLean pummels a double to dead center and ties the game at 1.
Boy, Matt McLean, who's just come alive really since the Reds lost their 13th attempt at continuing their streak, and he has just been on fire. I mean, hitting the ball to all parts of the ballpark. He's got way better power than he appears, and he just burns the center fielder Hicks as he rockets that ball off the center field wall.
Now on base at 19 straight, Jonathan India takes a strike. He is flying to right.
Hey, McLean's got a big lead down there at second. I doubt that he's going to try to steal with nobody out, but there is no position player anywhere close to holding him on.
Strike. Well, McLean, playing in his 39th game, already has a dozen doubles. Borderline low. India rocking the kicks from Father's Day that have that Florida Gator-esque kind of look. The blues a little off, but in the neighborhood. I think Florida was brought up on his foul territory interview earlier today. Perhaps some inspiration. A big lead for McLean. 2-2. Swing and miss. High heat. And now another crack for Elly De La Cruz, who offered some big swings his first time up. Ultimately went down looking at strike 3. And De La Cruz does not have an RBI since his electric performance in halting the longest cycle drought by a franchise active in baseball. He has only 1 hit since then. He feels quite due. I mean, even Jim Day is behind home plate trying to get a good shot of this.
Yeah.
Hi, Jimmy. Look at Jim back there. This is awesome. It's very meta. The broadcast is in the broadcast. That was a good eagle eye by you, Chris. Good call. Up and in. Appeal, no go.
Well, it's a pitcher's pitch right there. You throw the ball up, not necessarily as far in as he did right there to De La Cruz, but you get it up there. So now the last thing he saw was a high fastball very close to his eyes. You open up the zone now to go down and away with something off speed. Going to go right back upstairs with the heater.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Wells on the inning, and De La Cruz at the plate.
You know, Wells is one of those Rule 5 draftees that has really worked out. You really don't see all that many of them that have been that successful. He was picked by the Orioles in 2020 in the Rule 5 draft. And in 21, the fine print is you have to keep that player on your roster all year long, or else you return him to your source team. And the Orioles lost 110 games in 2021, so it wasn't easy for them to be an experimental year. The year in which he pitched in 44 games, had a pretty good season.
And he's quickly ahead on Fraley 0-2, who employs his timeout.
Wells is throwing the ball right now as well as anybody in this entire Orioles rotation. So the Orioles have kind of assembled their team a lot of different ways. They've had very high draft picks, like the catcher behind the plate. Adley Rutschman was the first taken overall, and they've got a Rule 5 draftee on the hill.
And the Reds have a first rounder in scoring position, representing a tie-breaking tally. One-two.
Other Rule 5 draftees that you may not really connect with the Rule 5 draft. Roberto Clemente was one. And Christy Mathewson actually picked up by the Reds from the New York Giants and then traded back to the Giants. Reds picked up Josh Hamilton, and maybe the best in modern days, Johan Santana.
Fraley, shallow left. Henderson. Reds tie the game. Friedel reaches on bunt hit. McLean drives him home. Face the Padres, and please stick around after the game. Fireworks show presented by Ruoff Mortgage. Remember, the new game time this Friday, 5:10. Gates scheduled to open at 3:40. Cincinnati will be in a lavender haze. Strike one on Aaron Hicks, who has walked and scored. Right at him, 0-2. Abbott began last inning falling behind Hayes 3-0, lost him to a walk. And then the command sharpened. He has now struck out 3 consecutive Orioles.
Love seeing it. You know, John, there's an old saying in baseball that if a lot of pitchers, good ones especially, if you don't get them early, you don't get them at all. And Abbott in the first couple of innings really, according to his dad and according to our eyesight, you know, was just a little bit off. Not bad, but just a little bit off. Walked back-to-back leadoff hitters to start second and third.
Arias lifts Votto over to the rolled up tarp. No play.
One of those runners scored. The leadoff hitter in the second is the only run the Orioles have right now. But he's come back strong. I mean, this guy is, he's got that little extra little gear inside of him.
And you mentioned his dad, David. His scouting report was pretty much exactly what you were seeing and saying. Twisting down the right field line, Fraley over. 2 down. You know, Ken Dreamweaver back in the truck in Cincinnati makes a great point. Perhaps a little pregame pep talk, a strategy session from Dad could sit in with Andrew Abbott in advance of the game. Could we get to a point where there's an earpiece like the offensive coordinator is calling the plays and Dad could speak to him during the start?
We could get 3 in the booth.
I like that too. We'll see if we can have legal draw up a contract. 0-2 on Westberg, who is singled. One-two, fouled away. The throng of fans that stood right behind the plate, slightly camera right, was indeed the Westberg clan here yesterday that all wore Westberg t-shirts, led the remaining fans after the rain in a long chorus of Westy, Westy. And Westberg said that that touched him. Now there's mom and dad and his wife. He said, I'm playing in a city I've never played in before. It was so nice to have that support. 2-2. Over McLean. He has the 2 Oriole hits off Abbott.
Well, there's no mistaking a good swing when you see it, and he's got it. Boy, does he power that bat through the zone, Westberg does. And stays right down on it.
Ryan McKenna has the lone Baltimore RBI, sac fly that plated Hicks in the second. Strike one. Chasing swing, and that's what Abbott can get at times that Baltimore had not offered so far tonight.
Well, once you establish yourself as being able to throw strikes, they're bound to start swinging at those marginal pitches. And that just plays in favor of a pitcher like Abbott, who's got that high fastball that looks good, but it's hard to hit.
throw to first.
Ooh, pushing the envelope there, Andrew is. You know, we rarely see a balk called on a left-hander for not stepping in the direction that he throws. Normally the balks we see are little flinches by right-handed pitchers. But he's right on that line where he is as good as you can get without being called a balk.
Two. Swing and a miss, struck him out. He worked from ahead all inning, bookend K's in a scoreless fourth. Dealers proudly sponsor the Tundra Homer Challenge at every Reds home game. If a Red hits the Toyota Hit and Win sign, one lucky fan wins a new built to the USA Toyota Tundra. Register for your chance at your Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Strike one on Joey Votto, who hit the ball hard, lined out to a sprinting Aaron Hicks.
Jumped on the first pitch he saw, and he's done that now 2 at-bats in a row.
Oh, it's rare you see a pitch in that territory called a strike on Votto. Now the dichotomy of the 6'8" Tyler Wells. He allows such little contact, only Shohei Ohtani a lower average against. He allows a lot of homers, 18 of them, tied for the 5th most in baseball. Votto has plenty of pop. Way high. Now the Orioles are rolling their outfield hard opposite way. Hicks shades heavily toward the left center gap. McKenna plays the right center gap and somewhat shallow. Swing and miss.
It's pretty well placed fastball right there. I'm not sure there are many hitters around baseball ever that get to this pitch. Basically aim it right underneath the elbows. And after you get him looking away like he did the previous couple of pitches, that's carving him up right there.
7 strikeouts and 4 1/3 now for Wells. He struck out Steer his first time. Ball 1. Steer fresh off back-to-back multi-hit games. Perhaps getting hot once again. The overhand breaking ball lands for a strike. He's only used it a handful of times, but it's been mightily effective. Two. Full. Wells has not issued a walk yet tonight. There's his first. Quick word now from the good folks at UDF.
What is it that makes UDF Peach so popular? Juicy, ripe peaches. Stop by UDF while Peach is back for a limited time.
Man on for Will Benson, who was struck out swinging. Grazes the outer edge. Two. Benson came off the bench his first game in 3 days. Delivered a home run in a pinch hit roll. The Reds made a rally against the Braves. Strokes this ball past the range of Westberg. That's into right center. Steer shoots up to second. Base hit Benson.
What a nice bit of hitting right there. He gets down on an 0-2 count. Tyler Wells threw 2 perfect pitches on him. A backdoor breaking ball, then a changeup. And this time he runs a changeup away again, but you know, Benson had went to school on it, and he kind of waited back and just tried to put the bat on the ball, takes it through the middle. That is excellent hitting.
The 2 speedy men are on. Luke Maley is flying to right. Steer hops a larger lead. Generous high strike. And I feel like Maley has been burned by very high strikes more than any Red in recent weeks. Right at the center fielder Hicks. Top of the order, T.J. Friedel, who solved the riddle of Wells. He was the first Red to reach with his 2-strike bunt hit at the beginning of the 4th. Henderson plays in a half step at third. Runners enjoy large leads. Ball 1. Into the stands, foul. The bouncy hop of a secondary lead by Steer has suggested throughout these last couple of at-bats that he might be itching to go, and Benson is way beyond the cut at first. 1-2. You pointed out last night, Chris, and accurately so, the big innings for Baltimore kind of neutralized the Reds' run game in an attempt to get back into it.
Well, it's all about running now. This game just kind of reeks of pitching and not necessarily high offense.
Little poke, shallow center, Mateo on the back pedal. Ohio is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by DHL Supply Chain, now hiring a wide range of salaried, managerial, and operational roles. Apply today at joindhl.com. Many Reds sponsors in the house. Many thanks for your support of Cincinnati Reds baseball, a destination to the charm city that is Baltimore, Maryland. Mateo is popped to short, fouls this away. 1-2. So Abbott's about to turn the lineup over for a third time It seems like he's been a little different the second time through.
Well, there's no doubt he's been different. I mean, he feels better now. His rhythm is together.
To right field, Fraley. Nice play right up against the wall. Statcast of Andrew Abbott's first 4, powered by Google Cloud.
Well, the strikeouts is what we're looking at right here, and he gets a number of his strikeouts always at that upper end of the zone up here. Most always that's going to be that four-seam fastball. Occasionally it's a breaking ball. Tonight he's had a changeup for a strikeout as well.
First pitch, Hayes to center.
Gotta love that.
2 down. So 8 straight men have seen a first pitch strike. He was 0-2 on all 4 hitters in the 4th. That includes the 2-pitch flyout for Arias. He is pumping strikes. That pitch count had swelled a bit, thanks in part to the walks through 3s. Dragged it back down. Rutschman has walked in line to second, and that seemed to be the trigger at bat. He whistled that line drive out and then snapped. Abbott was in.
It's a great observation. He did strike the next 3 batters out after that.
High. Breaking ball bends down. Full count on Rutschman. Got him, strike 3. On the Padres, fans in the house receive a patriotic floppy hat courtesy of Valley Sports Ohio while supplies last. Game time 1:40, gates open 12:10. Baseball sky. Ball 1 to Matt McLean, whose double deadlocked the day in the 4th, scored TJ Friedel from first base. Wells was perfect through 3, and now he has activity in the bullpen behind him. It's that call for a strike. Danny Coulombe, left-hander, is now loosening for the Orioles. Well struck to center. Hicks bending back on the track at the wall. That's gone! A long fly from Matt McLean as he breaks the tie and puts the Reds ahead 2-1.
Well, he nearly left the yard in his last at bat. The double off the center field wall shows you what kind of pop he has. That's 3 fly balls for him. A long shot to right, 1 off the wall in center for a double, and that one, the big fly to get the inning going here in the 6th.
.402 feet, his 6th. Breaking ball way wide to India. Now, sometimes on the road takes a moment to get the cape and crown. India to right. McKenna barely budges. That's been the oddity for Wells. He yields very few hits, but a surprising number of those knocks get over the fence.
Yeah, 19 of those now given up for Wells. That's. Yeah, the good news is for Wells, you know, he gives up a lot of solo home runs. The bad news is that he was in a tie ball game until that solo home run broke it open.
Breaking ball to Elly De La Cruz. He has struck out twice. He's received a lot of love nationally, but particularly from Rich Eisen on his national talk show, praising the play of De La Cruz and postulating, as some others have, should he be in the All-Star game? Now, he'd have to maintain the success he's enjoyed to this point, but if he continues to achieve at this rate, I think he makes a compelling argument that the antiquated thoughts of a minimum threshold of time should be tossed out the door. Doesn't baseball want to see this young man play? He's as thrilling as they come. His talent is top end. He is part of an outstanding future of young talent in this game. And can you imagine him in the home run derby? Can you? Would he go right, left? Would he alternate?
Well, he doesn't have to be in the All-Star game to be in the home run derby.
That's true. Bounce to first, handled by Orioles.
I mean, if you're going to make an argument for Elly De La Cruz to be in the All-Star game, one could make an equal or even more powerful argument for Matt McLain.
I agree. And Spencer Steer. And Andrew Abbott. And certainly Alexis Diaz.
Certainly.
By the way, that was the first ground out of the game. Strike one of Jake Fraley was flied out, popped down. Oh, 1. Taking a short look at the last 4 games for McLain now, including tonight. He's 8 for his last 17, 471 average. Of those 8 hits, 4 doubles, 3 homers, 9 RBIs. That is stellar. And that's been a running theme of this Reds team, Chris, because he had cooled a bit. Spencer Steer had cooled a bit. They're now hot. It has been next man up for this offense that consistently scores runs. And tonight's been a pitcher's duel, and the Reds lead. Chip to third, another ground ball. The Reds have the lead thanks to the thunder of Matt McLain. His second extra base knock of the day, his second ribby. FanDuel same game parlay discussed on Reds Live. Jake Fraley, no total bases just yet. No hit for Hayes. 6 strikeouts for Andrew Abbott. Strike one on Santander, who has flied to left and struck out.
You know, it's really amazing watching the hitters that take pitches from Andrew Abbott. They really don't see the ball very well. Well, that first pitch he threw to Santander was right on the outside corner, but a hittable pitch up, and normally the kind of pitch that somebody's looking for a fastball is going to go after. But the way he hides the ball, the way the ball jumps out of his hand at you. Young man just seems to be getting stronger here as the game goes on.
North of 90 pitches, David Bell as Lucas Sims warming. Stroked foul. Orioles, by the way, greeted Tyler Wells with a barrage of high fives and hugs. So Wells is almost assuredly done, and Abbott is possibly getting close, with Sims getting hot. It is now, it sounds like, Keegan Aiken getting loose instead of Coulomb. 2-2. Fought it off. Now the left-hander Henderson on deck. Then the switch hitting Hicks. Breaking ball popped up. India flies out. Friedel shoots in. No man's land. India on a slide. And he makes the catch. Oh, a great play by Jonathan India. He went to deep center field, and he robbed Santander on a bleeder.
Well, in this ballpark, infielders have to be able to go back because outfielders have to play very deep. It's 4-10 out there in center field. And look at India, like a wide receiver looking for that ball right over his shoulder.
Fade pattern, touchdown Reds. Left on left to Henderson. Fouls it off. He has struck out twice tonight. He entered lifetime hitting 178 left on left. Part of why he sat with Williamson going last night. India's closing speed on that pop tracked at 23.3 feet per second. For an infielder making a play on a ball that is exceptional in the top 5% of baseball.
Yeah, especially when you consider that, you know, he's half the time looking over his shoulder.
Time called by Henderson. I'm curious how David Bell will handle this. If he loses Henderson, I have to think Sims comes in. But if he gets Henderson, does he face Hicks? Dotted, strike three. And Henderson has been unhappy all night. 0 for 3 Ks against Abbott.
Yeah, when he swings, he doesn't look good. He got blown away by a fastball his last time. Swung and missed at a breaking ball the first time, and that time he says, nope, I'm not chasing that pitch. And it happens to be right on the corner.
And I love that David Bell is letting Abbott go here at 102 pitches. Miss low to Hicks, who has walked, scored, and struck out.
That's 102, not 122. And you know, there's been no evidence to show that if a guy goes over 100 pitches, he's going to hurt his arm. Certainly within a range of being manageable right here, especially as effortless as he's made the last few innings.
2-0. Called strike. So with his next pitch, this will be the most pitches he has thrown in the big leagues, the most pitches he's thrown at any level this year. Fouled away. He went 5 innings often during his rise in the minors. And that's something that could have a compounding positive effect. Timer violation. That's a strikeout. A violation with a 2-2 count on Hicks. And that's a 1-2-3 inning. Final strikeout for Andrew Abbott came on a timer violation. He has had a great day.
Well, he had. He's owned the left-hander. He struck out Gunnar Henderson 3 times. He has picked up 8 strikeouts overall, and this was the last one when Aaron Hicks did not get in the batter's box. An alert to the pitcher at the 8-second mark. That was strike 3, and that sent Andrew Abbott to the dugout right now with a 2-1 lead.
Well, Baltimore goes to its bullpen. The grounds crew is at the ready. Apparently radar is showing something immediately nearby. Keegan Aiken is in, and he pumps strike one.
Drafted, developed by the Orioles, drafted in the 2016 draft. This is game number 100 for this left-hander in his major league career.
Lefties this year hitting .310 against him. Downstairs to Votto.
Yeah, he's off the mark that he set for himself last year. He was in 45 games last year, had a really good earned run average, 3.2. This year it's up around 7.
And one of the major differences, he allowed 10 homers last year, all to righties. He owned lefties who hit .185 against him. And he strikes out Votto.
Wow. Talk about changing speeds. I mean, he slowed Joey down on a couple of back-to-back pitches and then dropped that 94 on him.
Spencer Steer has struck out and walked. Now, Tyler Wells went 6, 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. That marks his 6th straight start, giving up 2 earnings or less. But he is on the hook with the Reds up 2-1. I got a message on Twitter sent to the two of us, Chris, from Kyle Sutton, who is scoring at home, and asked, does a pitch clock violation strikeout go down as a backward K? I almost think it needs to be a different kind of K, right?
You know, I can't answer that.
I mean,
that would be a question for Ron Roth, the official scorer for the Reds.
I almost think I would make it a K with a draw a little clock face or something like that. You know, with a smile.
Yeah, of course.
You want to have fun.
Coming from you, I guarantee it's going to have a smile. Maybe a big hug from the umpire.
Nothing wrong with a good big hug. Grounds crew may need it if the rain comes down again. 2-2. Swing and miss. Quick word now from something that's like a hug to me. Miami Valley Gaming, the music.
Shimmy on down and get ready to get lucky at Miami Valley Gaming.
Awesome. Shimmy on down. Will Benson sharply struck. Nice pick by Westberg. First pitch, 6:30 tomorrow night. It'll be the series finale. Luke Weaver's first career outing against Baltimore. He'll take on Greenfield, Indiana's Kyle Gibson. Reds Live brought to you by Ray St. Clair Roofing. Well, Weaver will get that ball. Our FanDuel Live total runs update. Pre-game it was at 8.5. It has dipped dramatically to 5.5. We have some moving parts. Grounds crew at the ready, loaded up behind the tarp. Reds ahead 2-1. New pitcher Lucas Sims and the pinch hitter Cedric Mullins.
Well, Sims, the former #1 draft pick for the Atlanta Braves back in 2016, has become one of the go-to guys for David Bell here in games in which the Reds are winning. He's got one of the nastiest breaking pitches in all the league, and you just saw it right there. It looks like it comes out of his hand like a fastball and just worms away.
Swing and miss. If Mullins gets on, he has excellent speed. Couple of hits, a walk, and a sac fly last night. Swing and miss.
I was reminded of Sims last night during the the rain that was coming down while Brandon Williamson was out there, really struggling with baseballs, the grip on the baseball, the mound was wet, everything seemed to be going against him. I remember the one relief appearance that Lucas Sims had at Great American Ballpark where he kept getting new balls from the umpire, and every time he got one, he'd throw it away. Didn't like it, said it was wet. And he would throw a ball away, and the ball boy would bring a few more out to the umpire. Umpire would throw him the Sims. Sims would flip them away. And pretty soon they had gone through several dozen baseballs, it seems. And Sims did the entire time with a straight face. Oh, my.
Oh, the ball. That is pitching perfection. Look at Maley hold the frame. Elevated, and now a talented base stealer is on in a one-run game.
Well, you can't let that get to you. If you feel like the umpire made a mistake, I mean, they're humans too, and you've got to just forget about that and come right back at them. So Mullins, remember, he can run a little bit.
13 steals, caught just twice. Alex Young is up in the pen. Westberg is singled twice. Andrew Abbott went 6 in line for the win. 1 run, 2 hits, 3 walks, 8 Ks. Did not get a ground ball out. Another check. Another left-handed bat, Ryan O'Hearn, is now on deck to hit for McKenna. Big lead, he goes, no, he fakes. And a pitch swung and missed.
You're right about all of that. It looked like he went. He had a big lead, so much so that Sims actually looks over his right shoulder towards second base to be able to see the runner. That's how far the runner got off base right there.
He goes, pitch out, they guess right, throw down, the tag, got him! Oh, brilliantly done! On time, on target, dead to rights at second base.
Had a good call by the second base umpire. You see, Maley may have gotten out of that box a little early, but he's not called for it. And he makes a very strong throw. The tag goes on the leg of the runner before he gets his hand on the bag. And just like that, perfectly executed defense.
1-1. Swing and miss. That throw was 83 miles an hour. Among catchers, that is top 5% in baseball. His pop time was 1.84.
Wow. 2% is the gold standard. 2 seconds is the gold standard. And if you're down in the 1.8 area, that's about as quick as a human can do it.
He has the best throwing arm among the Reds backstops, and he showed it off there. Full count. Yanier Cano is up in the Baltimore pen. Young continues to warm for David Bell. A walk. And now the pinch hitting lefty O'Hearn subs in for McKenna. O'Hearn is among the several reclamation projects by Baltimore that have turned out well. Yes, their young prospects are a rich core, but they have hit on Hicks, they have hit on O'Hearn, cast-offs from other teams that with a change of scenery have produced far better.
Well, the example that we used about Tyler Wells, their starting pitcher tonight, they hit on him with the Rule 5 draft. That's really going against the odds.
Now Westberg, remember, tried to steal in his big league debut last night, was cut down fairly easily. He attempted just 6 steals at AAA, was not caught.
I just think that whole sequence with Cedric Mullins at first base, where you throw over twice, and he knows you're out of step-off moves now. And it's almost like the Reds baited him into going. They called the pitch out when they did, and they got the man on a perfectly executed pitch-out throw. That is a thing of beauty.
First pitch, just inside. Same spot, same call.
Little slider of Lucas Sims is breaking so much it's coming out of the zone.
Three and 0. Mateo remains on deck. A very low contact hitter. Throw to first, nearly got away from Votto.
Now this is the one thing that is kind of still hasn't been ironed out by Lucas Sims, is that control. Sometimes when you're a full effort pitcher, that's the margin that you give up.
Accidental check swing contact. McLean scoop. Throw to first on a bounce. Votto swipe glove.
What a nice pick by Votto at the back end of that.
And heads up decision making on the fly from McLean.
I mean, how do you have a check swing on a 3-0 pitch? Anyway, McLean comes in here, realizes no play at second, throws it on the run, and Votto sweeps his foot across the bag at the same time he picks it out of the dirt.
So with the tying run at scoring position, Mateo is yanked back, and another left-handed bat, Adam Frazier, stands in to pinch hit. And here comes Derek Johnson. Word now from Academy Sports.
Hey, Cincinnati fans, summer's more fun at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Gear up for camping, cookouts, and backyard adventures for less at Academy.
Well, by now, certainly, Young is hot. So what's the conversation here, and what's the idea with a left-handed bat standing in?
Well, it could be, do you want to pitch to this guy or do you want to put him on base? Doubt that they would even want to do that. But it might be a review of the scouting report to make sure that both Luke Mailey and Lucas Sims understand how the Reds scouting department wants this batter to be pitched. And if you fall behind, we want you to do this, for instance, because we've got a right-hander coming up next.
Frazier, former Pirate, so the Reds know him a bit more. And he lands that first pitch strike with the slider. Big lead off second for Westburg. Check swing seemed to go. Yes, no appeal. 0-2.
Boy, those are two nasty pitches right there. I mean, he throws this as hard as he can. Look at the break.
Elevated. Benson cheats in a few strides. Friedel similar in center. Tying run off second, an above average runner. Great glove by Mailey. That did get him. Yes. Frazier aboard. So now top of the order at Hayes. He's 0 for 2. He has flied to center twice. He's walked in between. Young has stopped throwing. Strike one. Baltimore skipper Brandon Hyde has pushed many of his chips to the middle of the table, employing 3 pinch hitters this inning. Nearly nipped him, and it's called a strike. He brought the hands tight, and Sims gets the benefit on that call. 0-2.
We've seen more marginal calls tonight called strikes than balls.
How about one more? Down and away. Three gifted runners on the inning. 2 walks and a hit batter. Could Sims work around it? Check swing appeal. No. On a base hit, they will almost assuredly make the Reds make a play. And Westberg's a big guy with speed. Big lead off second. Got him. Strike 3. On Valley Sports Ohio is brought to you by Jake Sweeney Chevrolet, serving the tri-state for over 100 years. Well, we got bad news. The rain is back in Baltimore, and the tarp just now being yanked out on the field. Our All-State mayhem moment today. Now the rain now intensifying. It had scattered fans when the initial drizzle came down, but you can see what it's doing, waving in the wind against the lights. And the hardier fans that were trying to hold out are also starting to scatter. Now the Reds a 2-1 lead, a rain delay here in the 8th. Does this benefit either team?
I think it benefits both managers because they've gotten what they needed out of their starter. Their starters went fairly deep into the game. Nice 6 innings for Andrew Abbott. And now they're into the relievers. So the other part of it is that you're not breaking the game in the middle of an inning where you're picking like they did last night, where you're picking up when the batter comes in with an 0-2 count as they start the game back up when we do get it going again. So if you're looking for a silver lining in a cloud that's full of rain, it would be the fact that it's a natural spot to break the game in.
And so with that, we remind you that once this game does conclude, we will have Reds Live, the post-game show, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. The full recap of the day. Another stellar start by Andrew Abbott. The timely and potent hitting with power of Matt McLean. His ribbies account for the Reds' run scoring. And they have the narrow lead trying to level this series in a battle of burgeoning, talented young teams. Now we'll have Access Reds after this break, and we'll have more word. What do we have it? Raining in Baltimore. Is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Reds. This game resumes in just a bit. 2-1 as it stands. How did we get here? Well, the pitching was pure at the start.
Well, both starters really had their way going, and it wasn't really easy for Andrew Abbott early on, but boy, when he finally settled in, he was as good as he's been all year long. Meanwhile, Tyler Wells was dispelling with the Reds no problem. Variety of breaking balls, changeups, occasional fastball, and the Orioles struck first.
It was a sac fly by McKenna, got them on the board. The Reds responded. Matt McLean, a deep double. TJ Friedel had bunted with 2 strikes, came in from first, and then McLean put the Reds ahead in the 6th.
Well, that was after he hit a double into dead center field, and he also hit that home run almost opposite field. The rains came. We've been sitting around now for a little bit more than an hour, I guess, John, and now that the Orioles have taken the field, they've gotten the field in good shape. The puddle's almost gone, except for those that are in front of the Orioles dugout and a little bit down the right field line. But field playable, and I think we're ready to play some baseball.
Abbott in line for the win as things stand. Out of the bullpen comes Brian Baker. The Reds saw him last night.
He had a nice easy inning. He had a 1-2-3 inning, pitched to Casale and then struck out Kevin Newman and Matt McLean in his 7th inning of work. So here he is working the 8th inning this evening.
And again, it's batters 9, 1, and 2, starting with tonight's catcher Luke Maley, and he starts him with an upstairs strike. Well, we have a lot of changes here as Mullen stays in center. Hicks goes to right. Westberg now at third. Henderson at short. Frazier in at second. O'Hearn at first. Keep in mind there were 3 different pinch hitters employed as the Orioles went on a run of left-handed hitting against Lucas Sims. Oh-2. Jam job pop. Catcher and pitcher over. Rutschman sliding, misses. Couldn't handle on the slick surface. The delay, by the way, officially 1 hour and 43 minutes. Maley has flied out twice tonight. Check swing. Appeal. He went.
Now that is the 10th strikeout of the night for Baltimore Oriole pitchers. The Reds have 9.
The fulcrum moment of the game to this point, Chris, you can argue, came when Friedel with 2 strikes bunted for a base hit, and it became the first Red to reach to begin the 4th.
Something magical about that, and of course when TJ Friedel gets on the base paths, he changes things as well.
Now Westberg at third, more of an unknown. He has played there. But the left side of the Oriole infield, if there's any big shift with all the moving parts of their defense, it's likely a slight diminishment on the left side. Westberg more short and second. Henderson not the same defender as Mateo. And among those that had high praise for Friedel's fortitude and ability to execute that bunt, Jim Palmer was in here holding court during a lot of the delay. Hall of Famer who's on the Orioles home telecast, and he raved about Friedel's execution. And you pointed something out during that conversation, how Friedel positions his body while bunting.
Well, I mean, it's a basic, really. He almost approaches it as a sacrifice bunt because he's been given the entire left side of the infield with 2 strikes. Everybody plays him back, and he made sure he put the bunt down before he began to run.
And because of that, Westberg cheats a bit here, even with 2 strikes. Now remember from last night, Friedel could well attest the drainage after a long pounding of rain was not the best. He slipped and fell down in pursuit of a fly ball in center field. Look out for that to possibly impact the conclusion of this game. Well hit to right field. Deep shot by Friedel, and that's gone! The second batter on the resumption of play A big tack-on score. Solo shot by Friedel, his 5th, and the lead balloons to 2.
How about T.J. Friedel tonight? A 2-strike bunt for base hit, and then a home run over the 373 mark in right center field. Just enough to get out of here.
All 3 Reds runs have come on extra base hits. The first 2 by Matt McLain. So the Reds have now hit 38 homers in the month of June. Entering tonight, only the Braves and Angels had launched more. Graham Ashcraft loving it. Look out. There was a fan streaking away, and that ball hit off the concrete just behind bike racks. Downstairs.
Interesting how they've begun to, not just the Orioles, but other teams as well, begun to pitch against Matt McLain. You know, one of these hitters that has kind of an open stance. He looks like he's a little bit far away from the plate and can't reach that outside pitch, but he is well committed to hitting the ball the other way.
Yeah, that's something he spoke about with Jim Day on the podcast, the nuanced changes that he made, because he wanted to cut down on his strikeout rate. And the openness of his stance was part of what he worked on in the offseason.
Well, you can keep your stance open as you set up, and you're going to see his foot here just a little bit open. But when you take that stride, you've got to get it back on line towards the pitcher.
And that's what he said his focus was trying to kind of get that rhythm of those moving parts to make sure his timing was as consistent as possible. Tap to third, foul. Now the crowd has visibly thinned. It was only announced just north of 14,000, but there's still a pretty decent number of fans that have converged in the lower bowl. Old friend Cionel Perez is back up in the pen. Some Reds fans part of the party here. Struck him out.
Well, including last night, Brian Baker's come in here. He's faced 6 hitters so far. He has struck out 4 of them, giving up a ground ball and a home run.
India's 0 for 3. Strike 1. So the Reds tonight have 3 runs on 5 hits. All 3 runs scored and or driven in by their top 2 hitters, who have 4 of the 5 knocks. Yeah, the Reds had Buck Farmer stretching in the outfield. Oh-2. Just down. He was loosening in that regard during the delay, and I believe he's the man who's by now ready. Yep, there he is. Looks like it'll be Farmer on for the home 8th. Two away.
Interesting how Baker gets ahead of Jonathan India very quickly on 2 fastballs, and then just kind of nibbles around the outside of the plate here, trying to put him away with a breaking ball.
Breaking ball again. Skied down the right field line. Hicks over. Makes the catch in foul ground. The Reds have lengthened their lead. Another big moment from T.J. Friedl. Solo shot, 2-run edge. Sunday, July 2nd against the Padres. Fans in attendance receive the next poster in the City Connect series. It sports Joey Votto thanks to heat seekers while supplies last. Reds enjoy a 2-run advantage. Bottom 8, Buck Farmer is in.
Funny how the fortunes of a baseball player can change from year to year so quickly. Buck Farmer was actually released or granted free agency last May by the Reds. Came back, went to the minor leagues, kind of reframed things if you want to look at it like that. And now he is one of the go-to guys for David Bell late in the ballgame. I mean, he is enjoying a tremendous year. Opponent batting average at 192, earned run average down the low 2s. He is getting it done.
Faces Adley Rutschman. Starts him with a fastball strike. The Brewers have already lost. They fell to the Mets 7-2. So the Reds have drawn even with identical records to the Brewers. If Cincinnati holds on to this edge, it'll be the Reds atop the division yet again.
This is one of these games with the way the lineup lays out. You've got the setup man, Buck Farmer, pitching against the most difficult part of the lineup.
And last we saw Farmer 2 days ago against the Braves. He got an out to end an inning, stranded 2 inherited runners, but had command problems the next inning, a walk and a hit batter. Grounded opposite way, De La Cruz. On a night without many ground balls, some rare action for De La Cruz at third base. Now Anthony Santander, a very dangerous, powerful bat, and that's where the Friedl home run is a really big deal. He is 0 for 3, robbed by India. Great play on a pop fly that went into almost medium center field, and India had to streak out back to the plate and make the catch. And that was to begin the 6th. Turned out to be the final inning for Abbott. And to this point, that and the caught stealing are probably the 2 best defensive plays the Reds have enjoyed tonight. Two-one. Just missed away. Andrew Abbott has received, and deservedly so, heaps of praise for his dominant beginning to his big league career. But a big part of that, Luke Maile has caught every single one of those starts. Full count. It was that second time through that the command really became fine, and Abbott snapped into control. Popped up. Friedl coming on hard, and McLean makes the call going out. 2 down. So now the first chance of the game for the Orioles' 21-year-old cleanup man Gunnar Henderson against a right-handed pitcher. He was bewitched by Andrew Abbott. 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts, and showed visible, clear frustration in the wake of each punch-out. And he smokes the ball to deep right center. Friedl gathers Henderson into second, a standing double. He's much better against right-handed pitching.
Well, he's been looking for a fastball in a hittable part of the zone all night long, and Andrew Abbott was not about to give him one. He gets a kind of a get-ahead fastball right there. Maybe Farmer's trying to run that down in a way. Maybe see if Henderson will swing over the top of it and left it right in a hot spot.
Aaron Hicks has walked and scored. He has struck out twice. His last K came on a timer violation to end the sixth. He was the final man retired by Abbott with an assist from the pitch clock. One and one. And you called it, partner, the setup by Farmer with now Alexis Diaz loosening behind him in the bullpen. In the air to right center. Friedel shy of the track. He has it. Hicks flies out. Farmer strands his lone man to the ninth. 3-1. Order. Buck Farmer worked around a 2-out double, posted a scoreless eighth. That has bridged things to the ninth. The Reds lead maintained 3-1. They'll try to expand upon it against their old friend for a second straight night. It's Cionel Perez.
Now, Cionel Perez had an interesting outing last night. He faced 5 batters overall, walked 1, hit 1, and then fielded a line drive off the bat of Jonathan India that was hit like a rocket back at him. It was a kind of a self-protection catch that he made to end the ball game. But Perez got good stuff. We've seen that. He's had control problems. Anytime you're in the same neighborhood of walks and strikeouts, you're probably walking too many batters. And we'll see if the Reds can't add on one right here.
Ellie De La Cruz 0 for 3. He's 1 for his last 15 with 7 strikeouts in that time. Tried to check, appeal, he wins. Grounded to third, backhanded by Westberg. Got De La Cruz. He is now 3 for 21 against left-handed pitching.
Breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball. It's about all he is seeing. And then every once in a while he'll see a fastball and take it or foul it back. And it probably sticks in his mind thinking, when am I going to see another one? And it's usually a long wait.
David Bell goes to his bench. He yanks back Jake Fraley. Brings up the right-handed bat of Nick Senzel. Senzel was 0 for 3 last night. Did have loud contact. He smoked a line drive out to third and worked a walk. Dribbler foul.
Well, that's a knuckle eater right there.
Beautiful pitch, froze him, strike 3.
Boy, after sitting on the bench all night long, Nick Senzel probably got to the ballpark this afternoon about 2 o'clock. And here it is 11:13 in the evening after a long rain delay. He stands up there, gets pinch hit, and he sees 3 of the toughest pitches you will see.
Joey Votto faces Perez left on left. Strike 1. Away.
Votto's got the idea with those pants, doesn't he? I mean, he's got the top of those pants right a little bit above the bottom of the strike zone.
Golf shot to left. Hayes back deep in the corner. Foul ground, slams into the wall and loses the ball. And he is wincing and lightly limping. He went in hard. That left knee, ooh, it seemed to buckle a bit as he smashed into, I know it's a padded wall, but there's concrete resting behind it. Down and away. A David Bell pinch hit for Votto near the tail end of the homestand. But in his small sample size early this year, he's 2 for 5 left on left, including a home run.
Well, he's one of the best left-handed hitters against left-handed pitchers that I've ever seen, and mainly because he's able to hit the ball late and he's committed to hit the ball the opposite field against that breaking pitch.
Fouls back a fastball. And that was something pretty significant. It's not happened very much at all in Votto's career because of that. He's assembled a Hall of Fame rate of success. Payoff, misses in, he works a walk. So Votto on. Spencer Steer has walked. He has also struck out twice. Perez's control on the whole much better than it's been in a down year. He had been used in rather limited fashion the last couple of weeks. It's pretty nasty. You don't see a lot of chases from Steer.
I mean, even if Spencer Steer is able to center up that ball, where's it going to go? I mean, it's coming in on him so hard, there's no way you're going to be able to keep it fair. At this point, he's just trying to stay alive.
Oh, 2. Grounded to short, backhand Henderson, tough play, throw to first, nice. Showing some arm strength. Alexis Diaz will get the call. The Reds closer. Bottom 9, up 3-1. Fraley, he takes his place in right field. The biggest change comes on the mound. Reds up 3-1, bottom 9 at Baltimore. Alexis Diaz.
Well, Diaz comes in for game number 35, but when he pitched a game on Sunday against the Atlanta Braves, it was not a save situation. So that broke a string for Alexis Diaz of 7 straight save conversions for the Reds here during this month of June. And he is having one marvelous year. Earned run average under 2. The strikeouts and the walks, I mean, it's off the charts at 56 strikeouts to only 18 base on balls. And a little bit easier chance tonight because he's got a 2-run cushion.
He saw the Orioles once last year. That was in Cincinnati. Last of July, he gave up a home run to Anthony Santander. Went 1 1/3 that day, worked around a walk, struck out 2. Reds won that game 3-2. Oddly enough, it was Farmer that got the save, his first. Diaz got the win. Cedric Mullins walked as a pinch hitter. That was a couple of innings ago, and Diaz leaps ahead on a fastball strike. They are pinching the right side of the infield. Votto is hugging the line. Pitch comp issues for Diaz. And look at how far over Jonathan India is. A ground ball to a traditional second baseman spot is almost assuredly going to get through. And I would guess that means not just the rate of contact, but the damage contact, the double contact they're trying to deny. Did that almost look sidearm?
Yeah, you know, it seems like Diaz's arm slot is getting a little bit lower here than it was last year, certainly lower even than it was in the beginning of this year.
Nice job by a fan who pinned the ball on the netting and then was able to reach around and grab the ball off the net. Is that intentional to drop the arm slot that way?
That I don't know. I would say no. If he were facing a right-hander that was giving him some problems, you want to give that right-hander a little bit different look, then yes. But when you're facing a left-hander, I don't see the advantage. Maybe it just feels better.
Struck him out. Upstairs heat.
Looks pretty good right there at 96. It's a good man to keep off the base paths.
Jordan Westberg, 2 hits and a walk. Just his second big league game. Slider away. To right field, Senzel makes the grab, 2 down.
Westberg has hit the ball hard 3 times tonight. Got his major league debut and first hit yesterday on a little bloop job in the left field, but everything he has put the bat on the ball tonight has been a line drive. 1 more to go.
Ryan O'Hearn, they play him to pull. He pinch hit, bounced out to short in the 7th. Right on the edge.
Luke Mailey's done a really fine job receiving tonight.
One and 2. After command woes his last time out, Diaz looks to be his sharper self.
Yeah, much more under control. I think his delivery is even a little bit more compact. And for him, that's saying a lot because he's got a lot of things going on in that delivery. Arms and legs and elbows and kneecaps flying everywhere.
Diaz down it in. And might they challenge? Yes, they're not even going to have to challenge. It hit him. So the tying run comes to the plate as O'Hearn gets nicked with a 2-out pitch.
If it didn't hit him, it was certainly pretty quick reaction on the part of O'Hearn.
O'Hearn not held on. Adam Frazier pinch hit. He was hit by pitch in the 7th. Tried to check, appeal. Oh, no go. Runner goes, swing and miss. Defensive indifference.
Tag him out. He's lost the count, and they're going to tag him out. Oh, they throw it to center field. Ryan O'Hearn thought it was a foul ball, and he started going back to first base, and he got about 15 feet off the bag here and never really looked back at home plate, and then realized all of a sudden, wait a minute, that wasn't a foul ball. I better get back there. And if you throw the ball on the money, the ball game is over. Boy, the O's get a break there.
Not only did they stay alive, but O'Hearn in scoring position. 2-run margin. Votto guards the line at first. Diaz misses.
Question I have, John, does that change the defensive indifference call? Because the Reds certainly weren't indifferent about trying to get him out.
Swing and miss. That's a fair point, because the act of the stolen base, or lack thereof, is not complete until the play is ended. That's why on an overslide you're still caught stealing. The Oriole closer, Bautista, now loosens. Up and away. Bailey out to try to settle things down here. Payoff. He walked him. Tying runs are on. The winning run bats. Austin Hayes is 0 for 3. Fly out, walk, fly out, strikeout. Hard foul. Hayes smashed into the wall trying to make a play in foul ground last half inning. Sends this ball to center. Friedel angles back, and he's got it. The Reds level the series. They get off the schneid. They snap their 3-game slide as Andrew Abbott gets a victory. The Reds top the Orioles 3-1, setting up a rubber match tomorrow night.
Really good ball game tonight for the Reds. They did a couple of spectacular things that were very interesting. TJ Friedel right in the center of it. A 2-strike bunt, then a home run. Really made the difference in tonight's ball game. I really like the way the Reds played defense tonight. They played tight defense. They even had a planned baited pickoff play, and then ended up having a pitch out where they threw the runner out. Little things like that in a tight ball game made the difference.
Now Alexis Diaz yields a couple of base runners, but secures his 22nd save of the year, make it 27 in a row going back to last year. Post game still to come. The final 3-1 Redlegs.